What's good, guys? LM7 here, back again with another review. This time we're taking a look at the final helmet set for 2025, the AT-AT Driver. So when I first saw and heard about this set, I was a little bummed out because it, you know, kind of sounded boring. It's similar to the TIE Fighter pilot helmet. We already have a Stormtrooper. I kind of wanted something new, but this set definitely surprised me. So AT-AT Driver has your Ultimate Collector's kind of vibe to it, with the border around it and nothing else in the background. 18 plus, 75 429. It has 730 pieces and is $70, just like all of the other helmets, and 90 in Canada. See, helmet collection. And then you get a look at it front and back in the actual movie. Obviously, you don't see it too long, just in the beginning of episode 5 there, with General Veers and blah, blah, blah. Comes in at almost 8 inches tall, so it's about the same size as all the other helmets, as expected. It's the same price as all the other helmets. Piece count for the helmets vary a little bit, between 5 and 800 pieces, so this one's on the bigger end of pieces. Regular instruction booklet, nothing, not that you'd expect anything interesting there. And it is 171 pages, so it's actually a pretty meaty build. Not too much in terms of symmetry, so that's why the book seems longer. It feels longer than other sets of similar size, but it does almost come up to 1,000 pieces. 730 isn't anything to sneeze at, so it might take you a while. And it's pretty intricate, to be perfectly honest. So, while there aren't really any features, we will take a quick look at all of the details of this helmet, and then we will wrap it up. You get a little plate, as you always do, little name tag, AT-AT Driver. I like I say, every time I feel there should be something else to this plaque, but it is what it is. It has basically the same stand as all of the other ones, and there's no wiggle or worry that it's going to fall over or anything like that. This is not one of the ones that you can, even remotely try to take the helmet off of the stand. It's built very intricately into the stand with Technic and stuff, due to the strange angles, and it's fairly heavy too. So to start off, it's kind of your standard stormtrooper-esque shape. Like I said, I was a little bummed because it's like, well, we already have the TIE Fighter palette, and it's basically just this modified helmet, but gray, right? No, it's pretty different, to be honest. They did pretty good with the mouth shaping and the printed pieces in there. No stickers, which is I lied. There are stickers, but not there. At least I don't remember. I think those are printed. There are printed pieces, obviously like the top here too. But there are also stickers, which kind of a bummer for a premium set, but they've been doing stickers and premium sets forever. Anyway, like I was saying, good detailing on the mouth there. Good use of the sticker this time. Sometimes stickers feel kind of boring and pointless. I know they add detail, but sometimes it's like, it's more effort than it actually gives to the set. The eyes are pretty standard compared to all the other, Clone Trooper esque builds. Nothing too crazy there. It's just some black pieces that they have built at angles. I do like the angles, though, of the side paneling here, these mandible sections. One gray, one red. Easy to do, but the paneling here with these wedge plates making a good shape was a fun part of the build. It was very complicated. As far as the helmets goes, this one might have been my favorite build. I'm pretty confident in that. So you got, some of the random little detail, and that's nothing Nothing too interesting. And then the sides are kind of just like, Jango Fett or Stormtrooper or anything like that. These panels are kind of all built the same if you have any of the other ones. But there is some intricacies in it. They did make sure that the colors matched up, and there's some asymmetry here and there, which we do like. It keeps the build from being monotonous anyway. And then they did the usual way they build rounded surfaces for the top, but they also gave it its signature little fin here and your little dish plates with the Imperial logo on them. And different than all of the other ones, you have the back little cylinder pumps here going on. One of them has a sticker, they're different colors, all kinds of just little oddities to show that they did pay attention to the movie. And if we look and compare it to that, it's pretty close. For rounded curves, obviously you can say they're missing the tubes, but the tubes would have been quite difficult to do at this particular size. They don't really have a piece for that, and it probably would have made it too big and bulky, which would have changed everything up. But beside that, I think it looks very accurate, for what it is, and I like having it on display. I have it on display next to the MIDI scale AT-AT that just came out, and I think they look nice together. They at least have some energy and synchronicity. But I did want to point out that you can see under the bottom, it is hollow. Well, also not, it is hollow, but you can see that there's a ton of stuff going on. There's quite a bit of technique to make sure all the stuff lines up right. And that's what's kind of makes it a challenge, because the angles are all very different and all that. But as far as helmets goes, it's still a helmet. Um, they're not meant for play. They're just meant to display along with them. Get your favorite ones. If for some reason your favorite character is unnamed AT-AT driver number 2 from episode 5, then this set is perfect for you. I think price-wise, it's fine. It lines up with all the other ones. And I think the other ones are okay. Some of them feel a little less, but as far as this one goes, I think this one is the best one for like weight, piece count, and price. So I wouldn't, if you're on the fence about it due to the price and stuff, as long as you have the funds to do it, I think this set is actually worth it. If you're in for collecting helmets and all that fun stuff. If you want something to play with, definitely don't get this, because you're not going to have anything to play with after your build is done. And with that, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you next time.